Two future Hall of Famers will face off in the first round of the NBA playoffs Saturday night on ABC as Kevin Durant and the Rockets will take on LeBron James and the Lakers. Since April 5th, LeBron James has averaged over 25 points and 11 dimes. Since leaving the Warriors, Kevin Durant is looking to get back on top as he's averaging 30 points, 49% from the field. However, he has a 13-18 record in the playoffs since 2021. Meanwhile, J.J. Redick told ESPN's David McMenamin that Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves are out indefinitely and that he will not have an update on their playoff status this week at the very least. Redick also spoke on what the Lakers will need to do to win their first-round series against Houston. Here it is. Listen.
Taking care of the basketball and boxing out. That's the series. Scheme, personnel, obviously important. But if we don't take care of the ball, we don't box out, we're not going to win the series.
They're going to try to come in and punk us. And if you wouldn't allow that, you will be punked. And, I don't think we have any guys that's willing to be punked on this team. So you might not be the most athletic, the strongest, but we got to have the most heart.
As a reminder, Houston is heavy favorites in this series, but what is the recipe for the Lakers to take down Houston? Is it as simple as taking care of the basketball and boxing out? Wendy, what do you think?
Well, that would help. There's no doubt about that. When you play the Rockets, there's a couple of things that you're top of the line, and I'm sure J.J. Redick is eyeball deep in all of the options at his disposal to try to figure out a game plan that's going to work. He obviously mentioned right there the rebounding. Houston's one of the great offensive rebounding teams of the decade. They thrive on getting second and third and fourth shots, and if you allow that, they will beat you. The game plan, almost certainly offensively, is going to be to give the ball to LeBron James, spread the court, and let LeBron create mismatches and find the best shot, either for himself or his teammates. When you play Houston, the two players that you want to target are Reed Shepherd and Alperen Şengün. These are excellent offensive players. Houston is suspect offensively. They need those guys in the game to get their offense going, although down the stretch of the season, Ime Udoka has found some lineups where he can generate some better offense that take pressure off of KD to be the offensive creator. But you've got to figure out ways to take advantage of those mismatches. You've got to punish those guys. That's where a guy like Luke Kennard is going to come in. His role expanded down. But if you look at the 10,000-foot view, what you really need is to extend. That's the message that the Lakers have to think every minute of the game. Extend until the fourth quarter. Your best chance at beating Houston is getting them into a close game. I understand that you're not going to have the same advantages as you did when you had Luka Doncic out there. But Houston has struggled at the end of loose games or at the end of close games. And then
what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. The NBA playoffs are here, and the pressure is already mounting for one team in particular. The New York Knicks. They are the third seed in the Eastern Conference. They have home court advantage. They have Jalen Brunson playing at an All-NBA level. They have Karl-Anthony Towns. They have Mikal Bridges. They have a new coach in Mike Brown. And they are facing the Atlanta Hawks in the first round. But here is the thing. Stephen A. Smith made a statement yesterday that has Knicks fans shaking in their boots. He said if the Knicks lose this series to the Hawks, the Brunson-KAT era is over. Heads are going to roll. And he did not just mean the coach. He meant players too. Let me show you exactly what he said. Roll the clip. Did you catch that? Let me break this down because Stephen A. went scorched earth. He said, Mike Brown is going. Karl-Anthony Towns likely. Mikal Bridges and who knows who the hell else is going. He is talking about blowing up the entire core. The same core that James Dolan said he believed could get to the finals. The same core that made the Knicks trade 5 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges. The same core that brought in Karl-Anthony Towns to pair with Brunson. If they lose in the first round to the Hawks, it is over. And Wendy agreed. She said it is not even just the first round. If they lose in the second round, even to the Celtics, there will be massive repercussions. She said the Knicks have the hardest draw in the Eastern Conference. The Hawks are not a real 6 seed. They played like a top 4 seed over the last 3 months. And the Knicks got unlucky because the Raptors moved up to the 5 seed. The Knicks dominated the Raptors all year. They would have much rather played Toronto. Instead, they get a Hawks team that is red hot and has nothing to lose. But here is where it gets really interesting. Stephen A. brought up the politics behind the scenes. He said there is speculation about who actually fired Tom Thibodeau. Was it James Dolan forcing Leon Rose's hand? Or was it Leon Rose's decision? Because that matters for Mike Brown's future. If Leon Rose made the call to fire Thibs and bring in Mike Brown, then Mike Brown is gone if the Knicks lose in the first round. Leon Rose will not hesitate to admit he made a mistake and move on. But if it was Dolan who forced the change, then Mike Brown might stay. Because Dolan is stubborn. Dolan does not like admitting he was wrong. And Stephen A. made another important point. The grit and grind that defined the Thibodeau Knicks is missing. Yes, the Knicks are top 6 in offensive and defensive efficiency. Yes, they have a better bench. Yes, Mike Brown is more personable and better with player relations. But something is missing. The fight. The dog mentality. Every team that played the Knicks under Thibs knew they were in for a war. This year? Not the same. Stephen A. said it as a Knicks fan himself. We grew to expect that fight. And when it's missing, we notice. And we've noticed it's missing this year. Now, let's be clear about the stakes. Losing to Boston. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are champions. That is understandable. Losing to Cleveland with Harden and Donovan Mitchell. Not great, but somewhat understandable. Even losing to Detroit after the battle they had last year. You could live with it. But losing to the Atlanta Hawks. The same Hawks that have not been relevant since their conference finals run in 2021. The same Hawks that beat the Knicks 4-1 in the first round that year. Unacceptable. Stephen A. said it best. You ain't been there. You ain't been a part of the mix. We didn't expect them to be somebody that was in the Knicks' way. If they send the Knicks home in the first round, change is coming. And I think it's going to be with the coach and several players. That is the reality. Mike Brown has not won a playoff series since 2012. That is 13 years ago. He was brought in to take this team to the finals. If he cannot get out of the first round against the Hawks, there is no justification for keeping him. And if the front office decides to move on from Towns or Bridges, do not be surprised. The Knicks went all in. They mortgaged their future. If it does not work now, when will it ever work? I want to know what you think. Do the Knicks beat the Hawks? And if they lose, should they blow it up? Let me know in the comments. I read every single one. If you enjoyed this react down, hit that like button. It really helps the channel. And subscribe if you want to stay locked in. We are building something real here. See you next time. Peace.